Guys, this is a Distance Theory podcast. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Gary Ricardo with my co-host Ryan Mazzozo, and today we have a guest. His goes by the name of David Perez.
Hi, everyone.
Just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is David Perez. I'm graduating from Western High School. I'm going to a school in Ohio called Lake Erie College. Um, I had a great time at Western. I wouldn't take it back for anything. And I also worked for a year at Runners Depot and learned a lot more about running than the average person would. So.
You used to work for Runners Depot or no?
No, I just recently resigned. I wanted to enjoy my last month of Florida, just, going to the beach every day, going to Orlando, like I didn't want to work my last month in Florida.
Shit, trust me, bro. I feel that shit.
Yeah.
I feel that for sure. But all right, Ryan. Well, floor is yours.
So I met David in 8th grade at a middle school practice. I don't really remember him too well, but David is probably the biggest running nerd I know in Broward right now. And I just wanted to ask you, like, how did it start? Like, how did you get into running?
Well, a lot of it is to my sister. She started running when she was a freshman in high school and I was in 6th grade. I honestly hated it at the time. I was playing soccer. And as she got better, she would force my family to go in to run road 5Ks, and I would just tag along because I was forced to. I didn't have a choice. And I started doing pretty good, but like not enough to the point where I would quit soccer for it. I was running. I remember my first 5K. I ran a 20:25 something as a 7th grader, and I remember I got like super hype at the finish line, having no idea if that was good or bad. But that's really it. That's how it stayed.
You said 25 and an 8K.
5K. Did I say my fault?
Nah,
Well, hopefully soon. So then from there, my middle school opened up a cross country team, and I joined it. It was honestly just because my sister kind of forced me into it. I was still playing soccer and everything. I was playing 2 sports at that time. And I got pretty good. And lucky enough for the Cuesta Trace Middle School, we were the first ever middle school in Broward County to win cross country county championships. And I was lucky enough to lead that team with some good friends of mine, Frankie and Matthew. Love you guys. So that's when I started in high school. I said, oh, if I did pretty good in middle school, I didn't see how high school was. And then that's just how it started. And even then, all the way up till freshman year, I was playing soccer and running, and I was on a pretty good team. We were top 20 in the state at one point.
Wait, pause. You got coached by Coach Cunningham in middle school?
Yeah.
Yo, that's like a full circle moment right there. Wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I remember the practice where I met Ryan. We were doing 2 miles tempo or whatever that was.
He doesn't know what tempo is. He just made you guys run.
And I remember he was like, oh, this is just like one of my students. I'm teaching him at Nova how to become a coach. And then that's really it. But I do remember him.
Yeah, the origin stories for you running was the origin stories of me coaching. So
pretty funny.
But yeah, which I'd like to say this even on the podcast too. Actually, Garrett, you're one of the huge inspirations to me and why I quit running or why I quit soccer for running. My freshman year at district.
I was gonna say, I hope I didn't make you quit running.
Oh yeah. When I saw you win districts and I saw you go 1 and 2 with your teammate there, it was like I was already 50-50. I didn't know where, because I made it on the practice team my freshman year, but I made it varsity for running, right? And running is one of those sports where it's not easy to get a scholarship in, but you can reach out to a coach and say like, hey, listen, here are my times. They're your scholarship standards. Like what's up? You can't do that in soccer. You can't put decision making into numbers, or if you have a lot of goals, maybe it's just because your assister is really good and you just keep getting a lot of tap-ins, and maybe you as a player aren't as good. Running, that doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's more down to the numbers. Like you can't fake those numbers. This is cross country and the course is short, but that's a different story.
Yeah, but I mean, like I talked to I was actually just talking to Zach the other day, Ryan's runner, and yesterday, and I was like, yeah, bro, like running as far as getting recruited for it is just like it's straightforward. There's a database with all your times. You can't fake it. If you do, I'm gonna be the one that goes on there and looks at it and be like, yeah, you lied your ass off about like,
Right.
like you do not run a 420 mile. Your PR is 457, like Ryan. But yeah, no, that's definitely true, like for sure. So
So that was one of the big factors. And so were you when I remember like when they posted the heats and then there's a guy running 416 and I was a freshman like trying to break 5. I was like, dang, like that guy, like so that I just want to thank you for that. Being a
appreciate
big
it, bro.
inspiration of mine.
Yeah, I love hearing about like, because you just don't know that. That's the thing with the running community. Like we're all nerds and shit. So everybody always like I looked up to like a couple guys the same way you did, and then there will probably be people from Western that look up to you the same way that like guys from my school looked up to me and shit like that. So um I think it's cool. Like I don't know if Ryan ever had anybody that he looked up to just because he got a late start, but
I didn't actually.
yeah,
I didn't know what I was
he just
doing. I was just running.
he was just out there running, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so you finish your freshman year, you see Garrett win districts, and you're like, oh my God. When did you kind of like fell in love with running? Like you became obsessed with it?
Well, that's when I decided I should quit soccer, but or from my Hispanic school. Um, I originally fell in love, like seriously fell in love with it, end of my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of I know it's kind of a big gap from end of freshman year to end of junior year, but that's where the pandemic hit, that gap. And I just lost so much motivation. Like at that point, I was just thinking like, oh, if I'm gonna go run, I'm gonna just go to like some low school and just get as much money as possible, like whatever, like so, something like that. Which is not a good way to think. It really isn't. And at the end of my junior year, when I did pretty good, I made it to regionals for the mile, which I did not expect that. I remember thinking like, wow, like I could actually make it farther. And running is one of those sports where it's all like 90% mental and it's only 10% physical. Like it's not as physical as you think it is. So I think the fact that how I didn't really care as much until the end of my junior year is what made me improve so much my senior year. And that's when I realized like when I really focused like all my energy into it, that's when I started to fall in love with it. Like the first time breaking 17, bro, like I was in like tears at the finish line. Like I was like what? Like my freshman year, I was gonna be happy if I was in the 17s, period. Now is the fact that I'm sub 17 was like, whoa, you know. So that was probably the big motion when I fell in love with it.
And when did you start working at Runners Depot? The same time?
Start of my senior year. Yeah, actually I was working in a kitchen. I was working as a line cook for 2.5 years before that. Like I used to go
Where at?
BurgerFi and La Torreta in Weston.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
This
was.
sounds terrible.
It was like now I think about it before I'm like, oh, I can handle it, and I did. I handled it for 2 years, but having to do a speed workout and then going home, shoving food in your mouth, showering, and having to go work an 8-hour shift in 90-degree weather, like cooking stuff on a Friday night was horrible. Like that was so bad for my body. Like that, it made sense why I was always tired. Like it. Uh,
I'm
it was
glad that
really
you
something.
realize that because it's funny you say that because you worked at Runners Depot. Well, I used to work at my junior year. Um, I worked on the weekends at the Moe's in like
Oh,
right
the one
next
right
to
next to
Runners
us.
Depot.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know that
literally right
place.
next
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. So, but like working there, I remember like, bro, I'd finish a shift and I'd get home and I'd think about running and I'd be like, nah, I do that shit tomorrow.
Yeah, or like you would go run and then you would run like a 10-minute mile pace like for 4 miles. Like it was horrible. Like you would
Yeah,
freeze every run.
no, I would force myself to at least run like 650s, but it's just really rough on the body when you're like standing up and just uh
Yeah,
doing all types of like physical work before you actually have to run.
yeah,
And I wasn't like thinking at that time like that you could run before work, which either way you look at it, it's bad either way, to be
yeah.
honest. So
Because then now you run bad. Like I mean, you run before work and then you come into work tired, and then now you get smacked with a Friday night rush, what are you gonna do? Like you're gonna have to muscle through it, and you're gonna mess up a bunch of orders, and now you got your boss yelling at you, and like no one likes that. So
Yeah. So with Runners Depot, like how did you start that job? Because
so
I know he hires like a lot of runners, but
so it's actually kind of a long story. I didn't have an interview or anything. I actually got offered the job. So they have their running team. And my coach, he was a professional runner for Kenya at one point. He actually trained in the same training house that Elia Kichobe trained in. They actually knew each other, which is cool flex. Uh, so
that's actually the second time I heard that because I think Kevin told me that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we us Western kids, we flex about that all the time. Like that's like
Yeah.
so they met each other at a marathon, like my coach and the owners of Runners Depot, and they became friends and whatnot. And they were talking on how they needed more people for the running team. And my coach is like, well, let me show you my top runner from my high school. And I met with them, and I met with them to interview for the running team. And they really liked my personality. And right there on the job, they offered me to work for them. And I actually turned it down originally because I was working as a line cook in a pretty good restaurant. So I didn't want to turn that down. And then later on, like 2 months later, I realized I didn't want to work in the kitchen anymore. So I came back to them, and they're like, great, when can you start? And I told them, like, to start next Monday. And then it started like that. And it was the best high school job for a runner, like, ever. Like, it not only did it just, I got very good at selling, but being able to, like, see someone walk and be like, okay, like, this guy pronates, so he needs the Adrenaline GTS or the Rahi or the Gaviota. Like, off the top of my head, I know a bunch of shoes that he would fall into. Like, it's just so cool to know. Like, people would come up to me, like, from other schools sometimes too, like at meets, because they know I would work there, because they would see me, and they would come to me asking, like, if they had a special pain, or like what shoe I would recommend. Or even my own teammates, they would come up to me and they would like, yo, like, I kind of have this pain in particular. What shoe do you recommend, this or that? Or like, do you like if I need an insert and all that sort of stuff? And it just felt cool being like that guy that just knows about it, and people would come to me, you know, like it. Or when someone has a pain and it's like, okay, you have plantar fasciitis, or you have this, or you have that. Like it's a very satisfying like job to know. Like I recommend someone go, like, anyone listening to there, bro, if you can apply there, it's the best in the world.
So do you think that kind of helped out with like, do you think that helped you fall more in love with running? Like working there, since you were surrounded by runners, like obviously the owner's a runner and all that stuff.
100%. And not only that, but a lot of the workers there, a lot of them are like older people that like have been working there for a while. All of them were like prime runners at one point. Like all those guys, you ask them, most of them were running like 14, but they were like whatever age. So it's cool to know that every worker there has like a prime running story, and like everyone has their own cool story. And on the walls too, there's a bunch of like cool pictures of professional athletes that they have met, and just it definitely did make me fall in love with running even more. And I got to meet a lot of runners too when I was fitting them. It was the best. It really was amazing. Like I would, if I could relive this year, I would have started working at Runners Depot earlier, 100%.
So, did you work with any of your competition? Like,
yeah. Towards the end, she started hiring a lot of high school students. So I had to work with essentially almost a whole St. Thomas team.
oh,
they're probably gonna be listening to this, so love you guys. Yeah, that was something else.
I feel like everybody has like a love-hate relationship with St. Thomas, because like you don't really hate the runners there. Like nobody really hates the runners there. I mean, maybe some people do, but like it's more so just the school, like the status of the school.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yes, I did get to work with some of my competition. I also got to fit a lot of my competition.
Give them the wrong shoes.
They like break the ankles, like yes.
That's why you like working there so much, huh?
But of course I never did that. But yeah, I got to work a lot of the West Broward kids too. And yeah, that's really just St. Thomas West Broward kids, and then one kid from Pines Charter. But Okay, bro. Love you, bro. You're gonna do great.
Wait, I think I know who that is. I think I met him. He goes to Pinecrest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, you
He,
saine Strider. I was like,
did
you
I say
confused
Pine
me.
Charter? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I meant to say. So many pines in North South
Dude,
Side.
Strider hasn't had like any good runners in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
he's up there.
So I need you to say your hot take. Why do you hate Nike shoes so much?
Okay, hold
ooh.
up. Before I go and get sued, it's not that I don't hate them. I just I just like other shoes more. Like okay, I'll explain you Hoka and Saucony why I like them so much. Right.
Yeah, I see the
So
Hoka sticker in the back on your
yeah, dude, I'm a
cover.
huge Hoka fan. Like absolutely. If you see all my running for it is either Hoka or Saucony. But um for me, for example, right, I'm a shorter guy. Like anyone that's met me, I'm 5'6", so I got shorter legs. I need something that has a meta rocker in it to help my high cadence. Nike doesn't really help me in that.
Wait, real quick,
Um,
just explain what that is for the viewers and
a,
also
me-
maybe myself.
a meta rocker. Okay, a meta rocker is when the shoe slightly pushes you forward. It's essentially how much of a heel drop is in the shoe.
Okay.
Um, I mean the heel drop doesn't always affect it because it's if a shoe doesn't bend, it probably has a meta rocker in it. Nikes are very flexible. They bend a lot, which is good and bad. But for someone like me, I need a shoe that won't bend, so it pushes me forward and gives me that meta rocker. Meta rockers are not cheating either. I mean, it's very common in shoes. Um,
So it basically just forces you to run on your
forefoot,
midfoot. Yeah, your forefoot. Yeah.
forefoot to midfoot, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it just gives you a better transition from point A to point B, essentially. And since I have a high cadence, which how many steps per minute I take because I'm shorter,
Yeah.
that helped me more comfortable in my longer runs, and it just did a lot of the work for me. Nike isn't a bad brand, but they just don't have that as much. And then same with Saucony. Like Saucony, the the endorphin speeds or the endorphin pros or even the endorphin shifts. Those have some of the best meta rockers I've tried, and I've tried on every shoe that has a meta rocker because I know that's the kind of style of shoe I like. And that meta rocker makes it so comfortable for me. Like it just makes my running like it's perfect for my running style. And when I tried on Nike shoes, it just wasn't it. And I also supinate. When supinate's when you come on the outside, there's pronating, supinating, and then there's neutral. I
Yeah.
supinate and I have a high arch. Um,
Bro, if you look at my shoes, like the outside of my shoes are like always so worn down because I kind of land on like my outside toes. It depends on what shoes I wear though, which is why I kind of strayed away from like base Nike like Zoom Fly models because they would really alter my gait and it cause a lot of injuries.
and like Nike, they're a great brand obviously, but they don't have a lot of like weight insignificance. Like I just see it as like a good shoe, but it's not like crazy. Now there's some great Nike shoes that I would run in. There's one, I think it's called the Invincible. It's a high cushion neutral shoe. It's the softest shoe I've
Yeah,
ever
they
tried
they
on.
have they have the Zoom X foam in them.
Yeah, and then obviously they're plated shoes like the Next Percents or the
Yeah.
Alpha Flies. Obviously those are amazing. Like I'm not gonna talk bad about those, but like the Pegasus, I tried on that shoe and it didn't like I could see myself running in it, but I wasn't like, whoa, this is amazing. Like it's
I
just
don't I don't like I never really like peg like because we're sponsored by Nike, so we get like our coach gets pegs. He gets pegs and he used to get structures, which are like one of the worst shoe you can wear. But I really like the old peg models. Like if I could get a pair of Nike Pegasus 33s, like I'd buy like 8 pairs of them right now.
yeah, and they also they pump out so many shoes that it's like, and they alter the shoe each year. It's not the same. Like I don't know. Like I just personally really like the Hoka model, and it's also different. It's different to be away from the crowd, not to be like quirky or whatever, but it is
Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah. I feel you.
Um, so yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
different things work for different people, so
yeah, that's true. It 100%.
yeah.
And then, oh my bad.
So aside from, let's see, have you ever tried like anything besides Saucony or Hoka's, and like what was the result?
Oh yeah, like 100%. Like I used to only run in Asics, and then Brooks as well. Like I mean, I worked in a running shoe store, so
Yeah, yeah.
I tried on like a billion shoes at one point. Um, and they just they just didn't work out for me as well as Saucony and Hoka did. But that's also another thing. Not every Hoka shoe works well for me. My worst race this year was in the Hoka Bondi X, which like it's not a good shoe.
Have
As
you
much as
tried
I love Hoka.
have you tried ultras before?
Oh, I 100%. Yeah, I love Ultras.
I hate them.
Really? I mean,
hate them.
I can't wear them for running, but for like everyday use, I could 100%.
No, I ran in a pair of I think Escalantes, and I just don't like the zero heel drop on them.
Yeah. Um, Zero heel drop. What that means, someone who doesn't know what that means, essentially is that in every shoe, your foot slightly slits on a tilt. Zero heel drop means it's flat. Like you're essentially like standing on a piece of paper in the shoe, but that piece of paper is soft. Like that's
Very minimalistic shoe. I don't
yeah.
really.
It's love or hate, but I love it. I'm
Yeah.
like super into that. I don't like high cushioning at all. I'm like medium to
Ooh,
low cushioning, which is strange because I like Hoka, but
so you're like you like the minimalistic like shoe, like with the zero heel drop and everything like that.
yeah, like I didn't ultras. I didn't like them that much for running. But it's also because I have a narrow foot and they're wider.
Mhm.
I liked like the Convara. I really like that one from Saucony. And then the Speed, obviously the Hoka. I mean the Saucony Speed, and then the Hoka Mach and the Hoka Clifton are like my two favorite shoes. Clifton for like easy runs.
You wanted
and
to
Mach
ask
for
a
speed
question,
one.
right, Ryan?
I was a little off subject, but it's still with him working. Can you explain why you would text me like a Friday night and be like, "Hey, do you want to do this relay marathon with me?"
Okay, it's because we're a relay marathon. We needed a fourth, and we're just trying to find someone that was a fourth that we know is decently good at running, which we still
I
got
don't
there
know why
this
you
year.
texted me.
I was just trying to find someone, bro, or maybe you knew someone.
But why wouldn't your job make you do it or something?
Wait, what happened?
Wouldn't your job make you do it, like, or like you would run for them or something like that?
It's like John, me and John.
No, your job, your job.
Oh, my fault. No, I didn't have to run for them, but they would always offer me discounts to wear their jerseys and run it at races. Which is the best. That was so cool. Like getting free races.
Wait, so
Um,
what was this race? You were doing like
so the ultra, Vista View, right? I'm assuming you know
yeah.
Vista View. So it's 6 hours and it's how many laps you can run. So it's a baton. So like it's a team of four. So one person runs with a baton and then they hand it over to the next one person and then that counts as one and then it's for like it's a relay essentially. And it's how many
Yeah.
times you can run it. It's an ultra marathon. It's called an ultra relay marathon.
Yeah.
You would
And
do this in the middle of the season.
Oh,
yeah.
wait, hold on. You first off, that's terrible. Second off,
It's like in January something. It's not. It's like not that
it's
much.
so in the middle of the season. Bro, okay. So I would hope that you guys at least, well, January, I guess I would hope it's not that hot, but like, damn.
I mean, it starts at 6 a.m. and finishes at 12. So
Okay, that's not bad.
so there's not that much heat going on
Yeah.
towards the end,
Okay.
yeah. But
So
it's-
Ryan pussied out then?
yeah. Now explain yourself, right? No,
Yeah, explain yourself, Ryan. Why you didn't run?
I overslept.
Yeah. He said
Yeah.
that last week. Last week he was supposed to go to Champ Sports in Pines. They have a run every week. He was supposed to go to that run. So I went over there expecting to see him there and he wasn't there. I call him and he's half asleep.
That's very true.
Mind you, this is coming from the guy that says he wants to relate to his runners, so he tries to run. So he tries to train himself.
Yeah, look at that. Top tier coach. No,
Yep.
I have a question for you guys now.
Okay.
This was a common talk with me and my friends. Do you guys think high schoolers take like dope or it's something to make
Like
them
EPO?
faster? Yeah, like do you think there's high schools out there that are taking it? You don't have to say any of the names, but any big name high schoolers that are like running low fours or breaking fours, or do you think any of them? Do you think they're all natural?
Yeah, I think that it's just. I feel like it's like maybe there have been like in the past, but I don't really think that there's that many talented high schoolers, like in the sense that like super talented high schoolers, like how Alan Webb was when he came out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty messed up if there were high schoolers taking EPO, but I really wouldn't put it past, especially if they're not going to college necessarily, like after high school, like those guys that go pro after after high school. I could see it, but nah. I mean, if you're talking about pro athletes, like probably like 50 to 75% of pro athletes probably dope. Like that's probably like a good estimate.
Really?
It's just a true, bro. I mean, like obviously everybody wants to be the clean, like
Top tier elite guy.
all natural athlete, but once you get to a certain point, like there's so many, like your body just hits a wall. Like there's limits to running and what you can do naturally. So
Mm.
that's a hot topic, but it's definitely something that should be discussed more in track and field. I mean, you know who Nigel Amos from Botswana is, right? He's the number 2 all time in the 800 behind Rudisha.
Oh, yeah. I
He
know talking about.
just got clipped for doping. He was blood doping. So
And
yeah,
do you
he
think any
and
like those big names like Cole Hawker, like any of those guys, you think?
that's a little tricky because when you're a fan of someone, you don't want to believe that they dope. But I truly do believe that and I hope like he never listens to this if we ever do get him on the podcast, but like
I wouldn't even say it.
I don't know, but I feel like the top athletes do dope, like to a certain extent. Now, obviously not everybody, but like there's a reason why, like, like Kip Sing, or is it Kip Sing? The 1500 world record holder,
Uh-huh.
or he's like number 2 all time, but he's a Kenyan guy. He also got busted for doping a few times. Mo Farah had his controversy. Central had his controversy. I mean, his head coach literally got banned from coaching for doping for doping with his athletes. So I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll give you another quick example, but the coach for NCAT, Randolph Ross, 400 runner,
Mm-hmm.
he just got he's supposed to compete in the 400 at the World Championships, and he's not competing there anymore because
He got caught.
yeah, some integrity unit with athletics basically like banned him from competing at the World Championships. So it's not exactly linked to doping yet, but if it's an integrity unit that's doing that, it probably is doping. So, and his dad got caught for doping back in 2000. So yeah.
Really makes.
Yeah,
Wow.
I would say high school wise, I don't think so, or at least majority of it. I just think the reason why we're seeing such fast times is coaches are getting a lot smarter. Athletes they're starting like
the shoes, bro. The shoes are a big difference. They truly are. They are.
I think they are, but I think it's not I don't think it's like the spikes. I think it's more like the training shoes. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like the actual race itself
It
that the shoes.
definitely it is the spikes as well.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a combination of everything, though. I feel like more runners are believe like it's more like I think when Roger Bannister broke the 4 minute mile that same year, 50 other athletes or 48 other athletes broke it. I think it's kind of the same thing with high school. I think we've had 4 or 5 kids break 4 minutes in a mile this year.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a mental thing. So mental coaching, high schools are just getting it more. There's more.
And not to say, like when I was saying earlier that there weren't any like super talent, there are extremely talented high school runners. Like if you break 4, like in high school, you're an animal. But like Alan Webb was in his own category, is what I meant to say.
For sure.
Right.
But I think that across the board, even in college, like you see in college this year, and you look at this year to previous years, the time to get into regionals has dropped like drastically. Like, and like I think like 3 years ago, I was talking to a friend about this. Indoors in the mile, 4 flat would have got you to the indoor national championship. This year you had to run 3:55, and that was barely squeaking in. And that's a 5-second difference in a mile, and that's not a lot of wiggle room. So
wow, that yeah, and also just like you guys haven't mentioned it, but I think a lot of nutrition has gotten better too. Like stuff like the Martin gels, like those things are pure crack. Like those are amazing. You guys know what the Martin gels are and all the Martin companies?
I've never tried it, but I assume it's like any other energy gel that you take when you run.
It's the one that Eddie Kichobe did to Break 2.
Okay.
It's that company. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it can be attributed to everything, literally everything. As a
yeah,
civilization, we get more advanced every year,
yeah. Makes you think where we're gonna be like 20 years from now. Like if it's just common for like freshmen to just break 4. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. We
I
might
don't
get
know.
to a certain. We might get to a point. I hope I'm not running by then, because I'll feel pretty shitty about my running accomplishments, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
so, I was just saying that to put things in a just to sum everything up, I guess. Um, no, I don't think that high schoolers are doping right now. I mean, there could be, but I highly doubt it. Maybe like
Couple.
one or two or three, maybe a 4 or 5, but
25. I
so
don't think so. I feel like 2 distance runners are just not like that. I don't know. That's just personally me, kind of my biased opinion.
yeah. Yeah, I think
Um,
you have to get to a certain level before you even really consider that. Like a lot of guys do it when they get stagnant in their training or they get stuck somewhere. Like,
yeah.
so
Um, Moving on though from your work, just your senior year, you went I think 4:32 in a mile. 10 was it 19 a 2 mile?
I think it was 10:17.
10:17 a 2 mile. I don't want to go too crazy about into your season, but just kind of summarize it up. And what do you feel like helped you the most from going to be like I think a 25-minute 5K runner in seventh grade to a sub 17-minute guy, 16:55? I think your PR is right.
It was actually I have it right there because the newspaper. It was like 16:46 is what it
Okay.
was at yeah. A lot honestly, a lot of it was just the relationship I had with my coach. Like, man, like I love my coach to death. Like he was amazing.
he
And
always used to bring the bike out, right? At Markham.
yeah, because he's Kenyan, he would just run with us sometimes. Like
Yeah.
towards the end of my senior year, he couldn't keep up with us, but like it happened a lot where like the last rep of whatever speed walker we were doing, he would come up there and really humble us. Like really humble us in some like in his work uniform. Um, a lot of him out to my coach Mike. And also my teammates. Um, you know, since running is a lot of mental, like we talked about before, like it's just having a good teammates really just made it a lot better. It's it was really good. Like I wouldn't take back my high school experience at all. Um, and we didn't have a track for a while, which really sucked. But besides that, like that was the only like bump in the road that I wish was different. But besides that, I wouldn't take anything back. 100%. I really enjoyed my high school experience, especially running with the team.
Um, Now you're going to Lake Erie. Now you're going to Lake Erie. Is it college? Is that just Lake Erie College, Lake Erie University,
It's Lake Erie College, yeah.
Lake Erie College? What's your goals these next couple of years for running?
Well, uh, next couple years as in like college or like
Yeah,
overall like career.
just running like the next couple of years for running.
Um,
You think you'd
well,
be
my
the
goal,
10K guy, 15,
I
8?
I talked to my coach already, and he's or the coach before the one we just got the new one. He seems that I'm probably gonna be a 10K guy, 10K to 5K guy, and then occasionally 1500s here and there. 1500, yeah, 1500s. I mean, I do have a 3450 something 10K, which I ran at the Flanagan 10K, the road race. So like that right there is pretty good. I'm not really sure yet. Also, like I just like running. So if they need an 800 guy, bro, I'll be there. You need a 400 guy, but like I got you. If you need a 10K, a steeplechase, or a heap team marathon, I don't know what it's called. When they do like every event, I'll be that guy. I literally don't, I just like running.
The
Like I just
decathlete.
enjoy it. Like yeah, like um, I do whatever. I honestly don't really care. Like as long as I'm having a good time and enjoying my college career, I don't mind. But it would be cool to be that Venezuelan guy since there's only two big Venezuelan names in the track and field world. The long jump girl, Yuli, she holds the world record, and then
She
Luis
just won the
Orta.
world championship.
Yeah, she won it
Yeah.
a little bit ago. Yeah, up to her, bro. She's the best. And then Luis Orta, which is he was a marathon guy.
Ran
I'm
for
trying to be.
Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, you know that. But see, you know him, and like he's that Venezuelan guy. I'm trying to be the next like Venezuelan guy. Like that's like my career goal. Like hopefully I can take a Venezuelan record in something.
Yeah.
So hopefully the 5K, 13:22. That's a lot, but I'll get it eventually.
Never know.
Yeah.
So your school that you're going to, do you guys have an indoor season or no?
Yeah, indoor, and we have an indoor track as well.
Oh, that's fire. And you guys have I'm sure you guys will probably go to Spire. I heard Spire is a pretty good
Yeah,
indoor
that's
track.
that's our indoor track. We have like I think they have like
Okay.
a contract or something. We can go there like 4 times a week, and we have like a whole schedule for us.
Oh,
And it's
that's fire.
like 2 miles away, something like that.
Oh, damn. I didn't know it was that close. Yeah, because Spire is like it's a 300-meter indoor track, right?
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
they train there a lot. Like my coach even said you're gonna be there as often to call it your second home.
Yeah, because it's cold in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. And we're right off the lake. Like it is called Lake Erie College. So you can actually like from like certain tall places you can actually see the lake from like the campus. And it's really cool. There's also another outdoor track that's like a mile away. They run everywhere since a lot of stuff is close. And I got to run in very cold weather. I don't remember how cold it was, but I remember it was like 14 inches of snow, and it was an easy run. Like I didn't even sweat, and I ran like
So
it was like
you
a 7 minute
visited
40.
there.
Oh yeah, I stayed overnight and everything. Like I met the
So
teammates and everything. Yeah, I would never commit to a school if I've never visited or met the teammates or anything.
good, bro, because like a lot of kids they get into stuff like that and they don't really know what they're putting them. They don't know the situation they're putting themselves in. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm playing video games already with the teammates and all. Like we're like I made sure this is a big commitment since I'm flying across the country.
Yeah. So well, that's good. I mean, that's really important because you know, you'll see throughout your college career that you're gonna have a lot of people come and go, a lot of people on the team, and like even my own team, we've gone from our freshman class from 2019. We had 11 guys. We have 4 right now, and I'm one of them. So
Dang.
there's 4 of us left. So,
Right.
but yeah,
that doesn't happen with us.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it happens, so be prepared for it. But that's good. That's good that you got all that done, and you're damn 14 inches of snow. I could
Yeah, it was past my. It was like, and like since they made them, they had to like push out the trails. It like pushed it off to the side. It was like past my waist.
Damn.
So it was pretty tall, but it was done. It was so cool, bro. And like after the run, I like jumped in the snow. I regretted it, but it was pretty fun.
All right, Ryan.
Did you have any more like questions?
No,
not
really.
Did you want to do the questions I sent you, or you want to have the old questions? Or
you could go ahead. You can go ahead with it.
All right. So David, we do like these. We keep changing the title.
We keep changing like a title, like.
It's just a bunch of questions.
Like right now, it's like the all-out kick questions, but before it was like, I don't even remember what it was before, to be honest. But
I feel like every podcast has their own thing, but we're just gonna call a bunch of random questions. You can answer it quick as you want or slow as you want. What's your favorite running shoe? Because I know it's between Hoka and Saucony. You have
probably the Hoka Mach 5.
That's like, is that like a super fast like trainer?
It's more, yeah. It has like really hard cushioning on top of really soft cushioning, so it's like crazy soft and it's still very responsive.
What was the shoe you wore for States or Cross? Because you didn't wear spikes, right?
I think I wore spikes.
Oh, you did?
Okay. I'm pretty sure I wore the Hoka cross country spikes. I forgot what they're called, but they're blue and yellow.
Okay, because I remember you asked me. I was like, this is the wrong person to ask. All right. The hardest workout you ever done?
Okay, it was on Hollywood Beach. We were doing 1K repeats, but the wind was crazy strong that day. And there's also hella sand on the boardwalk. So like running, I would feel like I would take one step forward and it was like another step backward because I was sipping from the sand and from the wind, and it was cold. So we had to run in like hoodies. Um, and like that one hurt. After that workout, I was debating if I really wanted to continue doing it.
That's an interesting one. I'm not
feel
gonna
like we
lie.
feel like we always have those workouts that make us contemplate our running career. But that's definitely one that would have also made me contemplate my running career. Bro, running on that boardwalk is rough. Like I did a tempo out there one time and it was not fun.
Yeah, it's on a speed workout too. You're dodging people. Oh, man, it was something else.
Yeah. Who's your okay, as of right now, who is not like currently, not of all time, who's your favorite current runner? It could be sprinter, distance runner, jumper.
Luis Horta. It's I mean it's just because he came from like nothing really. You know, he came from actually we have the same hometown from Venezuela, Caracas. Woo. Um, so it's cool to know that there's like a runner that came from the same city I came from, where I was born from, and you know he grew from nothing and then made it fast enough to run like D1 like across the country. Um, and then now he's professional athlete and everything, and like he's just a big inspiration of mine. He's a
I
huge
think what's
inspiration of mine.
I think what's more, I don't even think the running ass like he's an impressive runner, but I think beyond him running, I think that he's made a living out of coaching, and
Yeah.
he does the My Olympic Coach stuff, and I think that's what's more impressive about him to me, that um he made it so that running would always be in his life even if he wasn't running competitively, so he'll always have that.
Yeah, and his training camps in Kenya are really cool too. How he can like
With
paint.
Chilimo, yeah,
Yeah, that's
those are
cool.
yeah, those are pretty dope. I watched a couple, like, you ever watch Sweat Elite?
Sweat Elite.
Yeah.
That rings a bell. I watched a bunch of stuff and I always forget the name, but I probably
You
seen
should,
it.
yeah, if you go on YouTube and just Sweat Elite, it's a guy, it's like an Australian guy that runs the Sweat Elite. He does a really good job with his workout videos, so you should check it out.
Definitely will.
All right, so it's the fourth question out of 6. What's your favorite event to run?
Oh, bro, that's so hard. Oh man.
It could be cross country too.
You can say 4x4 or something much.
Honestly, dude, I love running the 400 or the 4x4. Like.
Okay, wait. I gotta ask you. What is your 400 time?
At 3 seconds, and every distance run you add 3 seconds. Whatever they say.
Oh, okay. On God, it was 55.
Okay, you're being honest.
I can believe that. I mean, you're being honest.
Like
I hear.
It was no block start, and then it was right after, whatever event. It was a mile 800. Yeah, I just remember running it tired as hell. Like I didn't have enough break. And it was an open 400. It wasn't a 4x4.
Oh, 800 then. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wait.
It could be either.
No, mile. Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
It was for points and.
Oh yeah, no, it is the mile. Yeah, because the 800's after the 4.
Yeah. It was a while. It was sort of like more the middle beginning of the season, but I just remember being tired and like not having any break for it. That and then also just finishing a 2 mile and then like not even getting off the field and just running the 4x4. Even though that sucked ass, it was a lot of fun. Like I enjoyed it. So.
Okay, our second to last question. I know you talked about like a lot about like nutrition and stuff, and that being really important. So what is your go-to pre-meet dinner?
Pre-meet dinner. I'm a chicken Alfredo fettuccine.
Okay, but from where though?
From where?
Yeah, because I always went to this one Italian restaurant around the corner from my crib.
I have 2. One of them is La Toreta in Weston. Worked there. It was great. I love that place. And then Pizza Lovers was also a really good one. It's also in Weston. But I mean, since I worked in an Italian restaurant and I worked in the kitchen, my fettuccine Alfredo is gasolina, fire. So my thing, when I broke 17, my fettuccine was in my stomach. I'm just saying. So that's all I gotta say.
All right, and then what's your favorite sports movie is our last question for you.
Ooh.
I'll tell you mine first.
Uh-huh.
It's not McFarland USA.
Why not?
Because that's everybody's
It's too
cliche
cliche, yeah.
go-to answer for that question. At least every runner's go-to answer for that question. I think my favorite sports movie is probably Coach Carter, because I've watched Coach Carter like a million times.
Mm.
You ever seen Coach Carter?
No, I don't think so.
It's a basketball movie with Samuel L. Jackson. You should watch it.
It's a good movie.
That or Rocky 2.
Oh, that's a good one. You know,
there's so many good sports movies. Like,
you know what? I'm gonna throw you a curveball. I'm gonna go with Space Jam.
First one or second one?
I think the original is better.
Yeah, by far.
But Hustle on Netflix with Adam Sandler. That one, I've been watching that one a few times. It's really good. I think it's a Netflix original. It's really good.
Yeah.
I recommend watching it.
Gotta watch it, bro. Yo, we mentioned a lot of like brands lately. Like, we gotta get some sponsors on this podcast now, bro. Like,
I want the Runners Depot check how many times David shout them out.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But all right, well, those are all of our questions. If you want to say anything else before we end this podcast, you go ahead.
No, it's just thank you guys for having me, and also thank both of you guys for being a huge like inspiration in my running career. Like Garrett from helping me decide that running is my way, and from Ryan from just helping me from when we really became close. Actually, around this time last year, when we did that long run a while ago, and like, you know, you always helped me out when I always had trouble or anything. I always DM'd you, you know, like it. I really appreciate both of you guys for everything you guys done. And once again, thank you guys for having me.
Of course, bro. And with that, thank you, David, for joining us on the podcast, guys. This is a Distance Theory podcast, and signing out.